Excellent. Hi guys, welcome to my Diablo 4 campaign run. Figured we'd do the campaign. And by that time, I think end of the year, there's new DLC coming out for the campaign. So it's probably gonna run around $100. They already did a questionnaire on it and everything. So how much would you pay type thing for an expansion? So that's gonna be interesting. Other than the price. Okay.
Deal or no deal island. Check your local listings.
Have you looked at the interest rates on your credit cards lately? Get ready for a shock.
Debating between Rogue and Sorcerer.
22%. You want to save hundreds of dollars a month?
I got a Necro. It works out well. Barbarian, not much of a barbarian kind of guy. Or druid either, because they're too fat, man. Too fatos.
We all know we should eat fruits and vegetables. But sometimes, no matter how hard we try,
We'll go Sorcerer.
life gets in the way. Simplify your nutrition with Balance of Nature supplements. Here for you in life's busiest moments. Get 35% off and $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code FOXNews.
Attention, former Marines and family members stationed at Camp Lejeune. If you lived or worked at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina for at least 30 days from August 1953 through December 1987 and have been diagnosed with cancer, neurobehavioral effects, had a child born with birth defects, were diagnosed with fertility issues or more, you may qualify for significant financial compensation. Call Saddle Rock Legal Group now to discuss your case. It has been proven that the water at Camp Lejeune during those years was extremely contaminated with toxic chemicals. A new law passed by Congress allows veterans and their surviving family members to bring lawsuits and potentially recover damages for harm from exposure to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune. Don't wait until it's too late. It only takes a few minutes and the call is completely free. Call Saddle Rock Legal Group to discuss your case now. 1-800-630-3838. That's 1-800-630-3838. Now, ADT professionally installs Google Nest products. Cool. You're all set. So your home is safe and smart. What did I miss? You can check in on your home. Manage your system from virtually anywhere. Get intelligent alerts like when a package has arrived. And the most trusted name in home security adds the intelligence of Google. You have a home with no worries. Brought to you by ADT. CIDP disrupts.
CIDP derails. Let's be honest.
CIDP sucks.
But living with CIDP
Doesn't have to.
When you sign up at shiningforcidp.com, you'll find information and real patient stories, helpful tips, reliable information, and more.
CIDP can be tough,
But finding hope
just got a little easier. Sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com.
be heard, be hopeful, be you.
Emily, Alice, and Katie, you're taking on the hot topics with powerful perspective and smart insight. You'll only get on Uncovered, weekdays at 12 on Fox News Channel.
You still owe a balance on this semester. I can give you 2 weeks.
What's our balance? We'll get a job, she place to live. Basic true story. Is it a job? Hey, the person that lied, what you never did. George Clooney. County seconds under the course record. Olympic year this year. Olympic year? I didn't realize it's the dogs and boys and their bullies. Coach to the history.
It was forged as a refuge from the war between the high heavens and the burning skies. Instead, it became a new battleground in the September conflict. A secretive group called the Haradrim has kept mortals safe. But now this once powerful order is a husk of what it was. A centuries, ancient creators have returned to claim the hearts of humankind.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are out there. Will my teen feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids? Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Call or chat to get real-time support. Tomorrow, the largest primary contest, Super Tuesday, when voters in 16 states and American Samoa head to the polls. And Trump's team predicts a delegate avalanche for him. He's hoping to lock up the nomination. Political analysts are saying Super Tuesday is Nikki Haley's last shot. President Biden has no competition on the Democrat side, but facing political crippling new national poll numbers ahead of the State of the Union address on Thursday of this week. Take a look at these three polls. All of them again national. Trump beats Biden in a general election matchup. This New York Times survey has Trump at 48%, Biden at 43%. That's Trump's largest margin over Biden since 2015. Now, arguably worse for Biden, fewer than half of Democrats say he should be the nominee for their party. Biden's campaign, yet again, shrugging it all off.
First, what matters is how people vote, and we have consistently, as Democrats, overperformed polls.
The Wall Street Journal says all this bad news for Democrats, adding, quote, worse is the public mood, only fewer is moving in the right direction, and they think Biden. To you, I know it's very envious, beautiful here in Palm Beach, Florida. Look, I gotta tell you, the Supreme Court ruling today has given the Trump campaign even more wind in their sails, as if they needed any more. They were in a pretty good spot. They felt very confident going into tomorrow's Super Tuesday. Again, saying that they expect to wrap this up by next Tuesday when they hit that delegate count of 1215. That's the goal. Take a look at the delegates where they stand right now. Trump has 244. He swept Michigan, Missouri, and Idaho this weekend, nearly far behind with 43 delegates. Of course, tonight North Dakota, and it's 29 delegates are up for grabs. Now, as you mentioned, a lot of brand new, great polling for the former president, Trump. Pretty vocal about this one. The head-to-head with Biden. He's gaining ground with voters as well, like Hispanic voters and Black voters in these polls. Nikki Haley has a little bit more comfortable lead here, 50% to Biden's 42%. That is outside the margin of error. Also, Trump's doing a lot better with youth voters against Joe Biden. He's at 51% to Joe Biden's 45%. And the top issue going into Super Tuesday, again, immigration and the economy. The economy, the number one issue here. Here's what voters are telling Fox in those Super Tuesday states.
I mean, Biden cannot beat Trump. I don't think it's a possibility.
Nikki, this is when the Republican nomination. Hopefully she'll go for
So Haley is not promising any wins on Tuesday here, so you might be wondering if she cannot win. Can she at least pick up enough delegates here and there to influence Trump, perhaps at the RNC? Can she be, let's say, a Bernie Sanders type of person? The Trump team does not think so. I'm actually told by sources here is that the Trump team has not yet reached out to Team Haley to try to cut a deal and get her to drop out before the RNC. They're very confident going into Super Tuesday that this is it. Expansion. All right. I answered within maybe minutes. I went long. I got this was good. Thank you. Another big concern for Democrats, a huge excitement gap. A new poll finds only 23% of Democrats are enthusiastic about President Biden. Twice as many say they are satisfied, but nearly half of Republicans say they are enthusiastic about Donald Trump.
Our panel now: Tammy Bruce, Fox News contributor; Jonathan Cott, former communications director for Democrat Senator Joe Manchin. Great to have you both. Okay. So, Jonathan, I'll come to you first. Why aren't the people in your party more excited to vote for Biden?
We are excited to vote for Biden. Those are 900 people that were surveyed. I point out that he had a historic last quarter of fundraising, which is a way to sort of gauge how much people are excited. And I'd also point out that every time he overperforms polls, people just come back and say, well, what about the next poll? What about the next poll? We've won in 20.
Politics and everybody does that. But a news show, 900 people in a poll is actually respectable. First of all, to get that many people. And second of all, that's before the snapshot. So this snapshot now is the ingredients that are already cooking a mini snapshot.
Well, he was ahead in two other national polls. We won a special election in Long Island. We're winning every special election, every midterm election. He's outperforming.
He did
polls.
win in Long Island. Mr. Yeah.
Yes, the Democratic Party running on his message won in Long Island. So that I would rather focus on that if I was concerned about it than actually a poll.
I would focus on somebody else too rather than the man's polling. I get it, Tammy.
Well, I would also caution my colleague and friend here that this is also in a dynamic where more than half Democrats don't want Joe Biden to run again, where you have in these direction of the country polls, it is a staggering, I think the Wall Street Journal noted, 75% of people don't like the direction of the country, and that includes almost at least half, if not a little bit more than half of Democrats, 75% of independents. So these are things that, look, you want to be able to overcome them. I understand that you want to stick with your guy, but there is a reality across the board that these things fit into. So Americans are beginning to look up as we obviously are in the primary season. Before now, we weren't. And we're also finding that what the White House has been saying has not been true on issues like inflation when it comes to food and energy. Those are not included in the core inflation rate. So Americans are looking funny at what's happening, the world situation, world wars, the situation with Israel, North Korea, China, Russia, ISIS coming back, Al-Qaeda coming back, and of course the border. So these are things that they have to be able to overcome, and demonizing half the country is not going to cut it. You can't just do that. And Trump has now a decision with the Supreme Court that is more inspiring, but I would caution Republicans, there are more decisions to come from the Supreme Court, and we should be prepared for some mixed decisions here. Hopefully we won't, but I think Donald Trump is in the catbird seat right now.
Well, and that wisdom was applied earlier this hour by Jonathan Turley. I mean, he was dissecting and taking a look at where victories will come and where you might not win if you're Donald Trump. And so it's interesting. Nothing in life is perfect, but you do want to have some wins on the board.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, I haven't heard you ever say, and I mean, I've only been with you a few times and have watched you many, I've never heard you call the other side names and all of that. I don't understand it by leadership in your party. I don't understand why they think that's a good idea, and I never will, because we debate all the time, and we don't call each other names. But anyway, Saturday Night Live roasted President Biden and his allies as concerns grow over his fitness for office. Also mocking the narrative that Biden is as sharp as a tack behind closed doors. I don't know if you've seen it.
Behind closed doors, Joe is incredible.
Behind closed doors, he's a dynamo. Behind closed doors, he is strong. Joe got that grandpa muscle strength.
Behind closed doors, he's a whirlwind. I mean, Dan, look at his schedule. 7 a.m. soul cycle class. And I'm not talking about taking one, he leads it. 8:30 a.m. plays speed chess in the park. 8:32 a.m. wins chess game, points at opponent and says, next time, young blood. 9:30 a.m. meets with Joint Chiefs for a military strategy meeting and push-up contest. 10:02 a.m. wins contest, points at the head of the Joint Chiefs and says, next time, young blood. 10:03 to 11, train time. And that's all before a lunch.
Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, I'm sorry, I was laughing, responded to the skit yesterday.
Time with Joe Biden, like I have done. Let me share something with you. I prepare a lot for meetings with him and engagements with him because he's remarkably detail-oriented. probing, and operationally focused.
Behind closed doors. Yeah. If the one winner here is Saturday Night Live, because they haven't been funny for years. They were funny when I was a kid. That was a little while ago. But this is ridicule, right? Comedy is a remarkably important political statement. And when you lost Saturday Night Live, when they are ridiculing you, the audience in New York is laughing hysterically. That is another sign that things perhaps might be lost.
Jonathan.
I can only tell you what my former bosses who have met with him publicly and privately said. He takes meetings long into the night. He's on top of everything. He's very detail-oriented. He's never had a note card in any one of those meetings. And I will say this, I would rather have a president who maybe has to stutter once in a while than one who spews conspiracy theory, racist nonsense, and has dinner with Nazis. So if given the choice between one or the other, I'm happy that Joe Biden might misspeak once in a while when he's trying to name a president of a foreign
Nobody
country.
has ever picked on him for his speech impediment. I mean, I have relatives who's better. That's not the issue. It's an ability issue. Real quickly, Tammy.
Well, we just heard him call a number of Republicans Nazis and racist, so I think we can.
Well, I didn't call Republicans.
Hold on.
Nazis. He had dinner with
not going to work.
He had dinner with a Nazi.
And they're taking it personally.
Tammy, exactly what I said. He
Okay,
had
I'm
dinner.
gonna have to let you go.
He had dinner with a Nazi.
I've never heard you talk like that. And look, 5 seconds later, I was
Desperation.
sadly. Good to see you both. Great discussion as always. Thank you. Of course, we have a special Super Tuesday coverage as the polls are closing tomorrow night. Brett Baer, Martha McCallum will take us through the evening, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox News Channel FNC for the cool kids. The U.S. is facing down growing dangers around the world. We cover it 24 hours a day. China, Iran, North Korea, and 2 wars creating dangerous instability. United States troops are under attack in the Middle East time and time again. And Biden's border crisis was lit on fire by his policies, putting our national security at more risk than ever. Today, military in focus. I'll talk with my military and security expert guests for a deep roundtable discussion right here with me in studio. Stay close.
Ooh, trouble seeing, buddy? You should book an exam in America's Best. America's Best. They have one of the nation's largest groups of optometrists. Oh, yeah, very well. America's Best, because eye care is healthcare, and you deserve the best.
Right now, you get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app, you get one free. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLFOGO. It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
You still gotta land.
Walk down the Subway app.
Cancer is hard, but St. Judas got us through it. St. Judas hope for every child diagnosed with cancer because the research is being shared all over the world.
Sandoz Retail Sale is now on for a limited time. Visit Sandoz.com or call 1-800-SANDOZ. TV has a big new deal.
Buckle up, Rita.
The quickest season of The Voice with the double share.
I get 2 for the price of 1.
Take the movie live. More adventure, more risk. Same question. No idea. Check the local listings.
Once again.
If I wasn't a psychologist, I think I would support it. If I could stand psychology, which I can't really, so maybe you should strike that. My name is Dr. Blair. I've been a clinical psychologist since 1991. I was licensed. And I love being a clinical psychologist because I like helping people. I was inspired to take balance in nature. And then when I started doing some research into the product, I thought, sounds good. Let me give it a try. So,
Russia to China, from Hamas to Iran, our rivals of course want to divide and weaken the United States and to split us off from our allies and partners. So, at this hinge industry, America must not waver.
Then Secretary Austin vanished for a secret hospitalization. Even the White House didn't know where he was. We now know it was for medical reasons. He says he is able to lead again. Well, he had better be. On the horizon for our great nation, potential for multiple foreign wars, terror threats at home, and on our men and women stationed abroad, particularly in the Middle East. Increased aggression by China, the Israel-Hamas war, the Iran nuclear threat, and proxy attacks on our U.S. troops and shipping vessels. The Ukraine-Russia war, now entering year 3. That happened last weekend. A border crisis putting our national security at risk. And North Korea's escalating hostility. Here's Republican Senator Dan Sullivan.
Biden cut defense spending by 25%. They wrecked readiness. I'm the ranking member on the Readiness Subcommittee on Armed Services. If you look around the world, you see chaos, and a lot of that, in my view, has been driven by the Biden administration's weakness.
When it comes to mission readiness, our military branches are struggling with recruitment and morale is plunging. For a unique roundtable discussion, we're putting the military in focus today. Lieutenant Colonel Danny Davis, Senator Joni Ernst, Army combat veteran and member of the Armed Services Committee, Joey Jones. You were neither one of those things. Those were your titles. Joey Jones, although you were in the military. So that brought us off with Joey Jones, retired Marine bomb technician, and Casey McFarland is here, former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump. I want to start, though, with a special report from Nate Foy up on the mezzanine now. Nate.
Harris, after decades fighting terrorists in the Middle East, the U.S. is now facing a more complicated military landscape. There's potential for war with China over Taiwan, while an increasingly hostile Russia and Iran open the possibility of war on several fronts. Russian President Vladimir Putin threatens nuclear war if NATO troops enter Ukraine. While Iran's proxy forces attack U.S. troops nearly every day in the Middle East, recently killing 3 U.S. service members in Jordan. Congress debates additional funding for Ukraine and Israel, while U.S. readiness for the next war is in question.
The old ruins are clear. Your town should be safe now.
Truly. I don't think that will last.
Light, you are heaven sent! Oh, I'm so sorry.
What the hell just happened?
According to leaked U.S. intelligence, China's shipbuilding capacity is 232 times greater than the U.S. China's first military assets on artificial islands in the South China Sea, ahead of President Xi Jinping's 2027 deadline for a possible Taiwan invasion. China and Russia also have hypersonic missiles. Russia used them in Ukraine. The U.S. is working with Japan to build an air defense system that can stop hypersonic weapons. Without it, NATO countries and even the most advanced U.S. warships could be defenseless. The U.S. also faces a personnel problem. Recruiting issues force the Army to restructure and cut its force by 24,000. We are competing in one of the toughest recruiting landscapes I've seen in over 33 years of service. This recruiting crisis certainly did not appear overnight, but cannot be repaired overnight.
Oswin coming in to take out the trash, are ya?
Forced the Navy to drop its high school graduation requirement. And you see right here, last fiscal year, of the 4 main branches, only the Marines hit their recruiting goal. You see the Army about 15,000 short. All this while Iran increases its uranium stockpile. Right now it's enriching uranium to 60%, a short step away from weapons grade 90%. Now, the U.S., of course, is a main nuclear power. We still have a strong conventional deterrent, but our enemies are getting stronger. And without a clear direction, our ability to manage the most important developments all across the globe is in question. Harris?
Hey, boy, great reporting as always. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Again, on our expert military panel, retired Lieutenant Colonel Danny Davis, a senior fellow at Defense Priorities, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, member of the Armed Services Committee and Army Combat Veterans, Joey Jones, the retired Marine bomb tech and Fox News contributor, along with KT McFarland, former National Security Advisor under President Donald Trump. I tell you, it doesn't matter where we start, but I do want to start today with China. That number, when we get to 232 tons to build ships, China's Navy has been our
I do too, because it's like that. It's like they think they're going to need them or something. They're putting a lot of into that.
Fuck.
The issue for the United States is not just that we don't have enough ships. We don't have enough manpower to man the ships. Even if we got the capacity, we don't have enough manpower to man. That's been the bigger issue.
Yeah, and everybody just kind of jump in here. Joey Jones, the only branch that met its recruiting requirements were the Marines.
Yeah, the Marine Corps in 2023, the Marine Corps vetted about 21 bodies. Good for them. And I can talk about why I think that is. When I joined the military, the Army promised me a college degree. The Air Force promised me an occupation. The Navy promised me travel. The Marine Corps said, we don't think you have what it takes, but you can try. And I think that's the difference. I have a quote here from the Marine Corps, the acting commandant speaking to Congress, to the Senate, saying, your Marine Corps exists to fight and win our nation's battles, the same fierce competitive spirit to win no matter the challenge. That is the mentality that will bring men and women to the military. They need to feel challenged. If you're bringing the bar down to them, what's the difference in going to college or the military? Why not feed into the American spirit? I really just believe it's going. And on the China stuff, I have more to say than
No,
I want to jump on that because when I joined the Army back in 1985, they offered some things like college fund or whatever. That was nice, but I wanted to be able to step up and be able to do the right thing. And they worked hard on it back then. It's not the case today. I think that's why fewer people are joining.
Yeah, if I can share as well, I think we all join for different reasons, but if you look at why recruiting is failing abysmally right now, is because we have an administration that is focused on things that Joey just mentioned. You've got lethality and making sure that we're the heaviest military on the face of the planet. We have an administration that's entirely focused on ideology. Yeah, on climate. We need electric vehicles in the military now. I'm sorry, I drove those roads in Iraq, and there were no charging stations to be found.
Well, one thing I'll say is, yes, this administration, if you handed them a hot potato, they let it ruin in their hands. But I talked to Amber Smith, and a lot of you know who she is. She's an Army veteran. She was working in the Trump administration for the DoD as a spokesperson 5 years ago on a podcast. And she said recruitment was the greatest threat to our country. Not an enemy, but our ability to keep our military. This is a multi-generational, bipartisan problem. If you ask me, it goes back to a country that's so spoiled that's rested on its laurels. We look at how we focused on counterinsurgency for 20 years and said, the Pacific. And now the Marine Corps, what we stood up for its future capability, but they just sold off artillery, they just sold off our tanks.
Fuck.
So Congress looks at them and says, you need to fix your capability. And the commandant at the time, Berger goes and says, well, here's how we can pay for it. We're going to sell all this off, get rid of that, so we can be ready to fight on islands in the Pacific. It's just going to take us 7 years to get there, and we're going to sell them off today.
You could turn it around very quickly. When I joined the Reagan administration, we were in the same position. We had ships that couldn't sail because they didn't have parts. We had pilots that didn't have enough training hours to fly. We had one right next to it. That's why it went to the areas that
After I
were
returned from the ruins, just like you, I came to my wits and escaped. Tried to get inside the chapel, but it was locked and... What manner of evil is this? Petals? Of blood?
They must have fed them to me.
A blasphemous ritual. How did they learn this? Perhaps the answer lies in the chapel. They kept it locked up for a reason. The key might be on that woman who was leading them.
Not while I'm in town. Blood petals. Like the ones I was fed. Is this real?
Shameful. Our Father has granted you a path to salvation. And yet, you stray from it at every opportunity. You drink and gamble. You covet and steal. Shameful.
Sin is their birthright. My children. The lords of hell are coming to devour our world. Salvation lies not in the light, but in you. The faith has taught you to deny your heart's desire and turned you into a prisoner within yourself. Break the chains and discover who you were meant to be. Break the chains and be beautiful in sin.
Resist! Resist her temptation! Vani, it's me. I brought your child into this world. They have awakened, Mother.
The first of many. Go to the dry steps and continue your preparations. Now, our true work begins.
You came to thank the light. You collapsed inside I thought the darkness had swallowed you. I dragged you here and put this cursed place to the torch. What happened to you in there?
I saw a vision. A horned demon. She said the lords of hell are coming. She wanted to help the people survive.
Help them?
She called them her children. And they welcomed her like a mother.
Mother? No. It cannot be.
I must report to the cathedral. Listen, there is a hermit to the northeast. A man of questionable loyalty, but he knows of the forbidden. He might be useful to us. Bring him to the cathedral in Kyovashad, and you will be in the light's favor.
Looking for the town priest. He stopped sending tithes, and I came to find out why. As I neared the village, I sensed darkness around the ruins. I went to investigate. Found the priest's body. Demons. Foolishly, I took shelter in Nevesk and ate their food. You know the rest.
Do not call her that. It is a demon, Lilith.
The gospel says that she will walk among the people, posing as the mother of sanctuary. If she is here, it is humankind's own sin that has brought her. He surrounds himself with dark knowledge. Tread carefully, and pray he has not fallen to Lilith as well.
I cannot do that here. anyone here? What are you hiding back here?
Short. If you're going to trespass into my home, rifle through my things, then at least have the decency to join me for supper. I'm bloody hungry. That's quite the story.
I wish it wasn't true, but it is. Why did I have that vision?
Thank those friendly villagers. They gave you the blood of Lilith.
The blood of a demon.
Not just any demon. The daughter of hatred. The mother of sanctuary. She was banished ages ago. But this world is her creation. It was prophesied she would come back.
What does she want?
That's the question. Sanctuary has always been trapped amid the eternal conflict. A war between angels and demons. But Lilith serves neither side. She has her own plans for us.
And me? Am I corrupted?
Not sure yet. But you two share a connection. What will you do about it?
Use it. Find out what she's after.
Good. Then we're in this together. Rest while you can. Then we'll start in Kyovashad. If we can't stop Lilith, we'll all be damned. Fallen. This close to the city. Lilith's evil is spreading.
Out of mana once again.
Never thought I'd live to see all this. The angel in Arius. I'm sure you've heard the Cathedral of Light babbling about their Holy Father. Well, he's real. An angel walks among us. And when he learns that Lilith is here, blood will flow. They are ancient enemies. They'll drag the whole damn world into their feud unless we can stop it. Let's not linger. Kiyovershad lies just ahead.
Hold. To enter the city, you must
We have no
first...
time for this. To enter Kiyovershad, you must perform a cleansing ritual. Meaningless gesture, but some people take comfort in it.
How dare you?
Just let him through, lad. I've tried for years to get Lorath to do the ritual.
Fine. But this one stays.
I'll meet you inside.
Take a piece of holy cedar wood from the shrine and inscribe it with the sin.
Fear.
Good. You must feel as though a great weight has been lifted from you. Welcome to Kiyovershad.
I need time to prepare that.
So, what did you write on that piece of wood? Something about fear or cowardice, perhaps? Well, it matters little, I suppose. I'm off to the dry steppes in search of that pale man from your vision. I must know what part he plays in all this. But first, I need you to retrieve something of mine while I finish my negotiations. A merchant in the center of the city has it. Just tell him I sent you. Cracked hooves, sway back, cloudy eyes. This poor thing is practically crawling.
So the old man's finally decided to bite back. Knowing him, he didn't mention coin, did he? If he wants his weapon, you will need to pay. Wait. The old man sold me this too. Said he didn't need it anymore, but I think he'd want it back all the same. No charge.
Sacrificing, summoning demons, holding all the wonderful gifts that Lilith gave them. The cathedral loves to go on about him. His imprisonment in hell, his valiant escape, his glorious return here, the world he created. But they never mention how being tortured in hell for a few millennia turned you into a curse. There was a prophecy, yes, that foretold the rise of the primevals, the return of Lilith and Inarius, the doom of our world. Inarius adopted the prophecy for his own selfish purposes, put it in the Cathedral of Light's gospel, and made it seem like he would be the hero to save us.
Take care, traveler.
Apologies.
He also gave me this amulet. What is it?
The mark of the Heradrim. An ancient order of scholars and mages, sworn to protect Sanctuary from demons. These days, we are few in number. There is another Heradrim, Donan. His breadth of knowledge about demons is equal only to his hubris.
Sounds like he could help us.
You should seek him out in Skosglen. But don't forget about the cathedral. They'll be expecting you, and they might prove to be useful allies too.
You're not coming with me?
I'm going to the Dry Steppes to find out who that pale man is. Join me when you can, just be careful. Your ties to Lilith, the visions you see. You are the key to finding her and stopping whatever she has planned. Sometimes our paths in life are set to collide. We just don't know it. Whether it is by accident or fate's hand, there is nothing we can do about it. The wanderer lost in the storm, fed the blood of Lilith, saved by a lone monk. Different lives and incidents drawn together. By what? Destiny? or some greater power pulling the strings. I did not know. But at the time, I thought I had the chance to protect humanity from the daughter of hatred. The Wanderer's connection to her gave me hope. Imagine that.
Yes, well, Bozan has yet to return from delivering our tithing demands to Menestad. Perhaps you could sweep the roads and see what's taking him so long. The cathedral must receive its dues.